Hello, listeners. It's good to be back again. This is the Succession Series podcast by ARM Trustees, where we discuss everything related to estate planning and wealth transfer and how we can have a seamless plan. As usual, joining me is Mofoluke Keshinro, who is a lawyer and an estate planning professional with over 20 years' experience. She's here to shed more light on the critical issues on estate planning and the use of a will as one of the tools of estate planning. Thank you for joining us, Mofoluke.
Good day, Ona. Thank you for having me.
So, Mofoluke, from our last episode, we were talking about the Jerry Springer video, and I'd just like to point out that, of course, the video is a skit and it's not true, but we will just be using that to discuss today. One of the issues raised from the video is the issue on segregation amongst his children, especially when it comes to transfer of assets. So, Mofoluke, what do you think is the implication of this segregation? And, how do we advise individuals on how to avoid this?
Thank you very much, Ona, for that question. You see, I would like to state to our audience the need to ensure they are very objective when they are taking decisions around distribution of their assets. A lot of people bring in sentiment. They bring in unforgiveness. Right. Over a long period of time. It affects and skews the distribution directives, which is considered, a time bomb. Because what you're trying to prevent in the first place by creating an estate plan is trying to ensure, minimize, or almost eliminate contention, strife, bad blood within the family. But where the distribution is not equitable, it's not fair, then you have disgruntled beneficiaries,
right,
who can scuttle everything you've created. So it's important that, there's that unbiased view and assessment of things. No matter what the beneficiary has done, you bring it into perspective. And the beauty of it is, the law requires that you make provisions for your family and dependents. Right. A situation where any dependent is to be, excluded. It's important that when distributions are being done, the asset owner is careful, listens to, professional guidance, and is objective,
right, in
making the distributions. You want to ensure that your directives are clear, they are fair. Objectivity is very key. You don't want your estate embroiled in litigations that would, be in court for several years.
Yeah.
You want, when you're no longer there, for there to continue to be unity and love within the family. So segregation of beneficiaries is not recommended. Where there is any concern about anything, I always recommend to my clients that you have a sit down with whomever you are aggrieved with. You listen to the other party and let them apologize. Where the person is unwilling to do that, it is recommended that you also view it from another perspective and seek maybe your spouse's view about that matter as well, or maybe a sibling's view about it, because things are usually, a lot of asset owners, they carry grudges, maybe because they've sacrificed so much for that beneficiary or those beneficiaries. They are usually kind of set in their ways in some cases.
Okay.
But listening would help them to, maybe understand the perspective the other person is coming from. But some beneficiaries can actually be very difficult as well.
Okay.
So it's important that there's that professional, unbiased view when structures are being created.
All right. Thank you for that clarification, Mofoluke. So I just wanted to, of course, take you a bit back to our last episode. We had talked about video wills and, having, especially in our law here in Nigeria, for a will to be valid, it needs to be written and also witnessed by two adults. Are there any exceptions, in our laws today?
Yes, indeed. I would like to reiterate the requirements.
Right.
First, you must have mental capacity. You must be an adult.
Of course.
We talked about 18 years in Lagos. And the Act says 21 years.
21, yes.
We talked about the will must be written. However, for written wills, there are exceptions.
Mm.
For seamen, for mariners, and crew of commercial flights,
Okay.
they can do oral wills.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are exceptions permissible
In our law.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Because of the nature of what they
Their
do.
job. Exactly.
Exactly. So that those are exceptions. And we also talked about two witnesses being present at the same time when the writer of the will is executing his will.
Thank you, Mofoluke. So one of the hot topics right now is celebrities, actually. We've noticed that celebrities are passing without, executing an estate plan or even a will. So I just like to get, from your professional opinion, why do you think that celebrities deprioritize, setting up an estate plan or even a will even before they pass?
You see, let's put ourselves in their shoes. They're celebrities, they're in the public eye,
Right.
they're enjoying their wealth, the fame.
Right.
They don't want it to end. So a lot of them, when you're undertaking this process of estate planning, you are drawing it up, you are meeting with your estate planner, you are going to conversations about when you are no longer in the picture. It gets scary for them. However, they are missing out on things that they've worked for, the effort they put into acquiring the name, the fame, and what should come to them, to their beneficiaries when they are no longer there. The royalties that will be paid from their works, the entitlements, a lot of things they're going to lose out. Or before it gets to their beneficiaries, it will be dissipated. It will be depleted by, solicitors' fees and taxes.
Right.
So the reason, from my experience, the reason a lot of celebrities do not undertake an estate plan, as simple as even a will, even for those that have had protracted illnesses.
I was going to say that. Exactly.
Yes, it's the fact that they don't want to put that note of finality to things,
Wow.
which is wrong. It is not recommended for anyone.
Yeah.
Especially with that status, not to have any form of estate plan.
Yeah.
We say to everyone, speak with an estate planner, get things tidied up, get guidance, and have a plan. Because you have a plan today does not mean eventuality is going to happen to you tomorrow or even today. There are people that have plans, they update it regularly, and they are still around for so many years. For instance, Chadwick Boseman, he had a protracted illness.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
He knew, eventuality was going to happen eventually. But nothing was done about even having a will. His wife had to go through the process of obtaining a letter of administration. We took her months to obtain. We don't want to put our family members, our loved ones through that process.
Right.
It's important that we sit with a planner, with an expert to get guidance and put the proper structure in place.
Right. So, just for the benefit of our listeners, you had also talked to us about, testament trust, living trust, education trust, charity and endowment trust. Do you want to take us a bit, through that so that people can understand, what options are out there for them?
There are various options available to people who want to create a plan. The plans will be created for you subject to, I think I had mentioned your lifestyle, your asset types,
Right.
the status of life or the stage of life you are in currently. You have the tool of a living trust, a testamentary trust that takes validity from a will. You have charitable trusts, that can be created to meet those charitable objectives that you have, ensuring that, they continue to get funding even when you are no longer there. You can have so many options. The recommendation will come after a diagnosis of your needs and your objectives.
Right. So finally, Mofoluke, let's talk about technology. So with the world tilting more towards technology and digital assets, so do you see these tools still being relevant, being that, you had talked about a will must be written handwritten. So do you really see these tools being relevant even in this technological age?
Thank you very much, Honor. I would say yes. I see the laws changing.
Okay.
With COVID happening, a lot of things have changed. Our courts presently in Nigeria, they have their trials even virtually.
Really?
So I believe very soon, the laws around wills, for instance, being strictly written would change to having, electronic execution and other things around execution of some documents in wet ink would change to, electronic as well. And these tools will continue to be relevant to meet the objectives of everyone.
Wow, thank you so much, Mofoluke. Very, very, very engaging session as usual. So thank you so much for joining us. And then, of course, thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Please feel free to forward your inquiries to armtrustees-pt@arm.com.ng. See you next time. Bye for now.